Hey Mark, how you doing? Time for another pod. Welcome
It
everyone.
is. Hi, how's everyone doing? You all right? Cam, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. The sun's out, and we have come off the back of a busy period, haven't we, Mark?
We
And
have. I mean, we're gonna commence another busy period soon, but yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, Cam, we're going to talk about a couple of things today, aren't we? So there has been a development announcement from Canon about the EOS R1. It's a
yeah,
little
exciting
cryptic
stuff there.
though. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
exciting, but
exciting. Yeah, looking
yeah,
forward to that
cryptic.
one. Yeah.
And we're also going to have a little chat about, is sex sells a dated concept, or is it something that
Mm.
still continues? So we're going to talk about that. But Cam, being the number one Leica fan, has something that he wants to talk about first, and it's just a little thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, being the show's, like a specialist, shall we say?
Fanboy,
Um,
more like, I think.
so this is a Leica lens that we're going to talk about, and I know people love talking gear and geeky sort of stuff. And if I said to you, look, Leica have got a new lens, and a lot of people's first question would be, oh well, how much is it? I bet it's Leica. I bet it's going to be expensive. Well, Leica have got this new lens out, and it damn right it's blooming expensive.
It's
Okay, it's the world's most expensive lens. I'm not going to ask you how much you reckon it is, Mike, because you already know.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, but it's just over $2 million.
I mean,
And do you know what? It only
why?
goes to it only opens up to 5.6 as well.
What?
So
What's the
no,
focal length on it?
well, okay, I'm going to read some of this, okay, because it's
All
too
right.
much tech info
Yeah,
to get. But
we're
okay,
not tech
pop
journalists
photo
at all.
exactly. So let's go here. Okay, it doesn't come as much of a surprise that the world's priciest lens comes with a red Leica dot logo on it. But when it comes to price, the Leica APO Telite are 5.6, 1600 millimeter truly goes above and beyond. This one-off extreme photo telephoto was created for Sheikh Saud bin Mohammed Al Thani of Qatar for 16 million Hong Kong dollars, just over $2 million in the US.
Wow.
Okay, that lens is a one-off. It says,
Yeah.
now it says, but they have got a picture, and that's just a prototype that Leica have got in their factory showroom. It says, since this lens isn't exactly being sent out review, it says we don't know an awful lot about it, but it fits the Leica R mount, is 1.2 millimeters long, 1.55 with the lens hood. Okay, has a maximum diameter of 42 centimeters and weighs 60 kilograms. Okay,
Whoa.
so you imagine, guys, for those of you that go to the gym, okay, 60 kilos. One of those large plates you get at gym to put on like one of the barbells or something, okay, one of the bars is 20 kilos normally.
I love
Okay,
the way
20, 20. This is
I love the
60
way you're
kilos for a lens.
explaining that to me. I've never been to a gym, so it's good to explain it. But
And it says Sheikh Al Thani has had a Mercedes four-wheel drive commissioned specially to drive the lens around and act as a support. It says the 1600 millimeter 5.6. Let's shout it out there. It's only a 5.6. Leica is certainly the most expensive lens that we know of officially, but there are some other contenders for the crown, and chief among them is the Zeiss 1700 millimeter. Okay, that's an f4, and it had a wider maximum aperture, longer focal length, and weighs 256 kilograms compared to 60 kilograms, and connects to a Hasselblad medium format camera.
wow.
And it says, unfortunately, we have no idea what the Zeiss lens went for, or even who commissioned it. Other than that, it was emblazoned with the state logo of Qatar. And
Oh
who
my
knows,
word.
Sheikh Al Thani may have that one too. Okay, so guys,
Well,
if you've
all
got
I'm
two
going to
million
say is right.
pounds hanging around, you can't buy one.
Was it? I think, and I'm going to paraphrase here. I think it was Robin Williams who said, "Cocaine is God's way of saying you've got too much money."
Yeah,
Right. And I think you can say that about Leica as well. Leica exists to remind you that you've got too much money.
exactly. Now, here's the thing, Mark. He's obviously had this commission, hasn't he? So
Yeah,
if
I mean,
I went, right, okay, Mark, let's say you and I, okay, we said, okay, we're gonna approach Canon, we're gonna approach Sony, we're gonna approach Nikon, and we'd say to you, look, could you put together, okay, so Zeiss did a 1700 millimeter f4, Leica have done a 1600 millimeter f5.6. If we said to Sony, Canon, Nikon, hey guys, we want a 1900 millimeter lens f2.8, Can you make one for us? Do you think they would make one for us?
I think they'd have
And
to make a tripod as well for it.
right.
I mean,
And so we'd like,
blimey.
we'd like to commission you to do this. And I wonder how much it would be, bearing in mind it's a 2.8 lens. And obviously it's going to be better than the Zeiss and the Leica one that we're commissioning.
Mm, mm.
You're
I
probably
mean,
going to be looking at probably at least $5 million, I would have thought, if it opens up to 2.8. I don't
you'd be
quite know where
afraid.
this conversation's
No,
going.
you'd be afraid to use it, wouldn't you? I mean, you wouldn't go to a wedding and use it. I mean, well, I suppose 19mm or whatever it is, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, blow it. What does he use it for? I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of, aren't people going,
Yeah.
well, what does he need a lens that long? I mean, really, is he looking at the stars, or I mean, what's he doing?
Exactly. Anyway, so as I said, didn't know where this conversation was going, especially
No,
when we got to the point of you and I, Mark, are going to commission one at
yeah,
5 million. And it'll be the
yeah.
best one, of course. Opens up to 2.8.
If any sponsors
Um,
want to try and help us on that, we'll gladly give it a bash.
exactly. However,
Hmm.
Canon have made an announcement of some sort, haven't they? Mark. Now,
Well, yeah.
you being the resident Canon expert on the pod here
Well,
in
you can say
Navarre,
fanboy if you want. That's fine.
what have you got to tell us about Canon's new development announcement? Exciting stuff here, guys.
Yeah, okay, so spoiler alert, they don't say that much, to be honest. The two most important things that we want to know is when's it going to be released and how much is it going to be? And we still don't know any of that. So, but
This is the R1, isn't it? It's the
it
R1.
is. It's the R1. Sorry, it's the R1. Now I'm also going to have to read off my phone because there's a few bits and pieces I just want to make sure I get right. But yeah, it says this camera employs the newly developed image processor Digi Accelerator in addition to the pre-existing processor Digi X. The new processing system composed of these processors. Sorry, the new image processing system composed of these processors and a new CMOS sensor enables large volumes of data to be processed at high speeds and delivers never before advancements in autofocus and other functions. Now, I also did read here that it's improved its tracking. So for sports photography, if you're following, especially with team sports, if you're following, I don't know, a basketball player or a football player, the apparent and another player runs across, apparently the tracking will stay with the player that you are following. So that is also really useful for sports photography. They also say it's going to be it's in field tests at the moment with sporting events. So I mean, we do have the Olympics coming up, I think, this year, don't we? And the rumors are it'll be announced around then. So I think we're going to see a lot of testers using the R1 during the Olympics. Personally, I don't know that for sure. But yeah, it does look like it's going to be an awesome camera. I would imagine it's going to be around the 8 to 10 grand mark to buy one.
Really?
But I think so. I think so. I mean, what's Nikon's equivalent? It's
It's a Z9, I think.
yeah.
And isn't that
How much is
about
that going for?
5? I mean, 10 grand, Mark.
Well, I'm just judging it on what the
So,
other. Yeah, I mean, I might be
really?
overpricing it there, but their flagships
Yeah.
have been. I think the EOS 1D has been about that much, though, hasn't it? About 8 grand.
Was it really?
I
God,
think
that's
so. I think
that's a
so.
lot more than I thought. I thought they'd hover around sort of maybe
Won't be
around
5.
the I was going to say around the 6 mark, with the Z9 being around
Maybe.
5, the Nikon Z9 being around 5. I mean, if it is 10, and you might be right.
Well, I said 8 to 10, so it might be 8.
8 to 10, but let's say it does get to 10. Well, let's say 8 to 10. That's still breaking that barrier, isn't it? For a
Yeah,
lot of
it
people.
is. I mean, like I said, I'm guessing here. I don't have any knowledge. I could be completely off the ball. But if you think the R5 is about 4 grand,
Yeah.
and the
Right.
R3, the
Yeah,
R3 is there. That's sort of 5 or 6, I think.
something
So,
like that. Yeah.
you
And
know,
do you know what? I would say that, it's only worth buying this camera if you actually really need it.
yeah,
Don't go and buy it because it's a flagship camera and you're a wedding photographer or a portrait photographer. Yes, great. In an ideal world, it'd be great to have that and spend that sort of money. And if you've got that sort of money and you want to spend it on whatever you want to do, and that's absolutely fine. But if those of you that are thinking, oh, I really need to be thinking about that, but I can't afford a camera that much, and I've got the whatever it are, 6 R5 or
yeah.
whatever it is, and you do weddings or you do portraits or general sort of photography, that those cameras are more than good enough. You don't need to be spending this sort of money. So I think some people spend it for the sake of actually spending and be seen with it. I know.
I mean,
And I
you
have to
say
say,
that,
I've
but
been guilty of that.
I've got some more things to read out though, and it does sound
Right.
this is going to be an awesome camera. I have to, because I was doing award stuff, wasn't I? The last job that we did,
Yeah.
people walking across the stage, and this next thing, I thought, oh yeah, that would be good for that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
says by combining the new image processing system and deep learning technology to an advanced degree, Canon has achieved high speed and high accuracy subject recognition. For example, subject tracking accuracy has been improved so that team sporting events where multiple subjects intersect, the target subject
Mm,
can continually be tracked, even if another player passes directly in front of them. So that's basically what I was saying earlier. In addition, the AF action priority function recognizes subject movement by rapidly analyzing the subject's status. I mean, this is really clever stuff, right? Um, in moments subjects in moments during a sports game when it is difficult to predict what will happen next, this function automatically determines the player performing a certain action, such as shooting a
mm,
ball, as the main subject is instantly shifts the AF frame, thereby helping to capture decisive moments in gameplay.
mm.
I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
It worked definitely, yeah. And that thing
Got
is
further
when
noise
they were,
reduction and all that kind of stuff as well. But
yeah, the
yeah,
standard sort of stuff you'd expect. But
yeah.
yeah, you want groundbreaking stuff with this, don't you?
Mm,
Um, and for those of you that are Canon users going to be excited by this, yes, I think it is going to be an incredible product when it does come out, and I think a lot of people want to get their hands on it.
yeah.
And you don't want them to get that stale, these camera manufacturers, like
No.
say the phone market, say for example, has
Mm,
got very stale. Like Apple,
mm.
for example, they were always sort of about innovation, weren't they, and
Yeah.
breaking new
Yeah.
ground and all of that. And let's be honest, their phones are great, they're high quality phones, all of that and everything, but they don't do anything new. They don't groundbreak, do they? And I
No,
think
buying a phone is boring now.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that isn't the case with cameras, and I hope it doesn't become the
Mm,
case with cameras at all. If when Nikon upgrade on their Z9, I'd really like to see something exciting with it. Don't just do an upgrade just for the sake of it and say, oh, the Z10 or whatever it is, or they might just change it to go straight to the Z11 or something, and
yeah.
say, yeah, you can shoot in even lower light and it's got even higher ISO and it shoots, a quicker burst frame. Don't want any of that nonsense, right? You want something that's a bit groundbreaking. I don't know what that groundbreaking is, okay, but you
Mm,
want to see something that's new. AI is going to come into it. I think heavily we're going to be seeing a lot of that going on.
yeah.
But the other thing about this though is let's look at this sort of an announcement. I mean, it doesn't say much, does it? As you said, it
No,
says. I mean, it's just rumors that are coming out various sites and
it
things.
is rumors and it is a rumor site. So, but
Yeah, that's
Canon
right.
have, I think, released some of this information to
Yes, with
certain
I must
people, I
say,
guess.
with a terrific video, Mark, which
Ah,
which right, which
we'll have to
right,
post that in the show notes. I mean,
yeah,
it's,
okay, that tells you everything you want to know.
it
Okay,
does
now
have a picture of it, though. So you know what it looks like
exactly that's right. Yeah,
now.
now we Canon are great. We have great relationships with Canon. They send
Yeah.
us products for review and all of
Yeah.
that. Okay. But we're very honest. We don't want people to think, Canon send us products, which it's just a biased review. We are very honest. But I mean, this development announcement doesn't really say anything, does it, from
No.
Canon? I mean, really,
No.
it's as I said, the video. Well, as I said, we'll post the video. You
Mm.
guys have got to watch this because and make
But
up your own minds about
but you
what
know
Canon
what?
have done with this. Right?
It's I mean it's great marketing because we're talking about it. I mean it's one of the
It's worked.
most anticipated cameras to come out. People have been talking
Yeah,
about this since the
yeah,
R3 came out. We've been
mm,
talking about when's the R1, when's the R1 coming out.
yeah, yeah,
We our contact at Canon, we kind of tease her a little bit. Don't we? Come on, tell us when the R1, and she can't tell us. I
yeah,
mean, she might not know.
yeah,
But she never does, and I guess it's the question she does get asked quite a lot about.
yeah,
Just to go back about pricing though, I've just looked up what the R3 is, and I've got Wex Photo and Park Cameras are both advertising the R3 body only for £5,049. So it's going to be more than that. It's going to
yeah.
be, I reckon, at least a couple of grand more than that. So maybe I'll
I
reduce
reckon
it
probably
to the
near the
seven.
8 mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
would have said near the eight. I reckon.
seven or
Yeah,
eight, yeah, rather than 10. I reckon
yeah,
maybe with body kits and stuff, if they do have some lens kits rather, then they will have it will
Yeah.
be more than 10 mark. But
Yeah, that's right. But I think anyone buying that, I don't know. If you're going to get, I think anyone buying that is probably going to have kitted out with lenses anyway. So
yeah.
would they do that camera with a lens kit?
Well,
And
well, I don't know. If you're if you're a EOS 1D user and
mm,
you're EF, if you're EF on the mount, then yeah, I mean, I could, you got to, if you're if you're going to be spending that much on a body, right?
yeah,
You're obviously going to, I'd imagine, change a lot. You're going to have to finance the lens changes as well. So yeah, they might do a lens kit. I don't know. They might do a L lens kit with it, and that would be like more like 12, maybe. I don't know, but don't know.
yeah. Watch this space. Let's see
Yeah,
what Canon have to say. Good stuff.
absolutely.
Mark, let's have a quick break and
Yeah,
then we'll come back. Right, Mark. I came across. I was flicking on my phone this morning,
yeah,
and
as we
the
do.
usual stuff.
Yeah.
There were little adverts and things coming up and whatever. And I saw this advert for solar panels.
Solar panels.
Um,
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. This is the photo bar. What are we talking about solar panels for?
okay, it's all tech, all geeky. Yes, we're talking
Yeah.
solar panels. No, we're not. We're not talking solar
We're not.
panels. Anyway,
We're
this
not.
is an advert about having solar panels on your house, and the advert sort of going on about why we should have solar panels and the benefits and all of that. And I don't have solar panels, and I don't really know enough about them. I can't see myself getting them, but where I live on this sort of estate where I am, there are quite a few houses that have had them for quite some time. Anyway, my point about this is it's got nothing to do with the solar panels. In that the little advert that they've got in the background, they're showing some houses, like a row of like semi-detached houses, and two of them have got solar panels, and you can see a bit of the countryside in the distance. But right at the front of the shot is a lovely looking lady. Okay, close up, standing, hands on her hips, lovely blonde hair, looking straight at the camera, tightest sort of dress. Let's just
Yeah.
say it, put it out there. Very attractive. And my point here is that are they using sex to sell?
Well, what has she got to do with solar panels? I mean, what? What? I mean, and this isn't a woman thing, by the way. If it was a scantily clad looking man on what? Why? You just need a
She's
picture
not.
of solar
Let's just
panels.
put it out there. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
she's
not
not
scantily
scantily
clad.
clad. No,
She's
she's
just
not.
wearing a dress.
Wearing a
Okay,
dress. Sorry.
right, but it's clear, right? She's of a certain age. She looks lovely. Okay, it's very attractive, and it attracts interest. It makes people click on the actual advert. Now, I didn't click on the advert. I will say that, but I did stop. I did look, and then it made me think
What the
about
hell?
this.
Yeah, what the hell has she got to do with solar panels? Yeah, absolutely. It just
Right,
should be a picture of solar panels, surely.
are they sort of trying to say that, look, that, she's sort of saying, look, that's my house in the background. Well, no, I'm not saying it isn't her house, but that's clearly not why they've got her standing
Yeah.
there, and and is it a dated concept using photography and images like this as sex sells, or is it still the case everywhere?
It's still the case everywhere, isn't it? I mean, we like to think we've evolved a little bit. I mean, you now do have plus size models like that. Again, both female and male, or non-binary, I'm sure. But yeah, so we have made improvements in certain places. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's still there, isn't it? I mean, you get and it's not just women either. Excuse me. You have, there's certain footballers, aren't there, that can advertise stuff, and there's
Of
certain
course.
footballers that don't. I mean, David Beckham advertised a lot of things. You didn't really see Tony Adams or Martin Keown on a lot of things, did you? I mean, and there's a reason for that, right? um, so
Yeah, you're right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
you're
get
getting
that.
that now with a lot with obviously because the WSL, the women's soccer league now
Yeah.
is getting bigger, and the same thing's happening there. There are certain female footballers who are on adverts, and there are other football players that are not. Unfortunately, and this is
But
the
you see,
state of where we are.
yeah,
It is still a thing.
yeah, but they're celebrities as well, aren't they? They're
They are.
known
They
figures. But
are.
this
Yes, they
advert that
are.
I've got here, they've just used a model, you know, yes, a very attractive model, but it just, you know, uh, yes, I get the fact that she's looking straight at the camera and eyes sell. It's like that thing, you know, if you go into a newsagent or you go into WH Smith's and you look along the shelf racks, and a lot of the magazines are about having that face on the front cover
Yeah.
with the eyes that follow you. So the eyes that look and they engage. And I get that with
Mm,
the advert. Okay. But it's just, it made me laugh. But I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't even register. They'd click on the
mm,
advert purely because of the attractiveness of the model that they're using, male or female. So I'm not saying because, you know, because of the attractive girl on the front. I'm not saying that,
mm,
because of the attractiveness of the model that's being used.
mm.
And should, you know, should companies now be saying, well, look, no, we shouldn't be going down this route anymore? Or are marketing experts saying, you know what, that's going to get clicks on this? Okay, it's going to be
Yeah.
somebody that's attractive. That's what you need to do. You know, stick a good looking woman or a good looking guy on there, and people are going to click.
Unfortunately, I think that's we are still at that point.
Hmm.
And it is kind of depressing a little bit. But you think about all the adverts that are on TV and all that kind of stuff. And even if you think about demographics, you know, you're always going to have I mean, do you remember the old Bisto adverts? And it was the
Hmm.
family round the table, and
Hmm.
the lady who played the mum.
Hmm.
I mean, it was an older mum because they were
I remember.
older kids, weren't they? You remember
Yeah.
that? I mean, and she was in loads of things. Yes, she was kind of sort of late middle age, I guess, and all that kind of stuff. But for her age and for who she was, you know, she was a good looking lady. For do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it still happens. And if you think about today, if you think about, I don't know, supermarket adverts, you know, the man goes to the shop and gets things wrong, or whatever it is, you know,
Hmm.
it's always those things. But they're all reasonably good looking people. You know, they've all got their own teeth. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, there's someone there with you know, a black eye on there or anything. It's always going to be the even if they're looking more normal, quote unquote normal, whatever that is, they're still like the good looking end of that spectrum. Do you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
we are far away from this not being a thing, I think, which it's disappointing, I guess. It is
Yeah,
disappointing.
but as
Um,
photographers and videographers, do we have a role to play? Let's just say a you know, a client comes to us and they, you know, and the client says, look, you know, we want to sell solar panels. Have you got any ideas for images? Is the first thing that you're going to think of, let's stick somebody attractive on there that's going to get clicks?
what?
Now, hang on, before you say anything,
Yeah,
Mark,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
If you then said to the customer, yep, I'm going to give you two options. We'll take some pictures of your solar panels, or we'll take some pictures of the guys fixing the solar panels. Okay, or we'll show some, a couple standing outside their house with solar panels. Right, they're your three things, aren't they?
yeah,
Right, and you got those, or something that's going to pique interest. We're going to stick an attractive model on the front, right? And you're the client
yeah.
here, and you're going to get far more interest, far more people are going to click on that. But are you going to get a lot of time wasters clicking on that just because they've clicked on it because she's attractive? And people will click on it just because they see
Mm.
an attractive face.
Yeah,
So
they
the
will.
client, yeah. So what would the client say? Will the clients, or will a respectable business, and I'm not saying this company aren't, and I've not named them,
Mm.
will they say, no, that's not what we're about. We're more about, we want to approach the right customer. We've got our clientele, that type of thing, and we don't want to be, we don't want to be sort of go down that route. Here, clearly, they have done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a random one because it's about solar panels. It's just kind of like there is no link. You know, if you see an advert for, I don't know, I mean, we spoke about iPhones a minute ago, didn't we, in the first
Mm,
section? And you see an advert for an iPhone. Generally, the people who are using the iPhones are young, cool
mm.
looking, or whatever,
Yeah,
blokes,
that's right. Yeah.
whatever. They're all cool, and it's kind of selling the brand as much as it is
The lifestyle.
the lifestyle, the kind of coolness of the brand, and
Mm,
that's
mm.
what it's all about. And that's what they're trying to do. But with solar panels, it's
It's not a
it's
sexy
not.
product, is it? So when I was in London recently, everywhere I went, this was like West End around there. I kept seeing up on buildings, billboards of Ray-Bans and Lenny Kravitz. I think they were
Yeah.
called Ray-Ban Reverse something. I don't know what the sunglasses are, and from what I remember, he's wearing these shades, and I'm sure he had his top off or he had a vest on or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are shamelessly using it there, but I didn't react so much or didn't notice so much because it's a guy. I didn't think about it. But but it's a fashion product, so I get it. So it makes sense.
I mean,
However, we're talking about solar panels here.
yeah. But also the other thing to mention, I mean, Lenny Kravitz. I mean, how old is Lenny Kravitz?
He's in his 60s now, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, he's in
Yeah.
his 60s. He to have that kind of cool looking. I mean, there's also a massive problem, really. You don't get many sort of female models of that age doing the same sort of thing. For some reason, blokes
No.
can do that.
Mm.
It's acceptable that blokes can do that, especially if someone like Lenny Kravitz.
Mm.
Mick Jagger has made a
Mm.
career out of it and is still going, and doesn't really get much criticism about that kind of stuff. But if a woman is up there doing that same at a similar age, there's a lot more negativity around it. So we have got a long way to go.
Oh, we have. This
this kind of
proves
thing.
it. This conversation proves it. Actually, this
Yeah.
advert proves it as well. And there's a lot of people out there thinking, who cares? I'd like to see an attractive, an attractive woman because it's talking about a woman.
Yeah.
What's wrong with seeing an attractive woman on an advert? I don't have a problem with it, type of thing. So there is a huge amount of people like that. But my other thing really is photographers. Do we have a responsibility to say, actually, is this the right way to go? But then a marketing expert would say, well, look, do you want to do the right thing or do you want to boost sales?
Yeah.
Right?
At the end of the day, that's what
do you want
it's about,
to
isn't it?
do you want to sell a shed load of solar panels or do you not want to sell a shed load of solar panels?
But also it's aspiration as well, isn't it? I mean, let's take Men's Fitness magazine, right? I mean, it's seldom an ugly looking bloke on the front of a. I mean, I hate using the word ugly. Sorry, that was lazy of me to say. But the guy who's on there is probably looking pretty jacked with his muscles and stuff.
Yeah,
and
of course. Yeah,
a good looking guy. He's probably got a good square jaw. But that's not for the winning. That's because blokes are trying to aspire to be like that guy.
do that.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And I'm sure with magazines like Cosmopolitan and all that kind of stuff, and there's probably a woman's fitness equivalent of men's fitness. I don't know. I'm sure they do the same thing and employ the same things, and that's aspiration. Because so is it? I know you were saying, us as photographers have a responsibility here, but actually, it's deeper than that. It's a societal thing. If we're, if they're using not just good-looking people to attract the opposite sex, but also to aspire the same sex, then we all have it in us that I want to look like that, or to be accepted, and for people to think I'm cool, I've got to look like that.
Yeah,
that and that's a societal issue, and that's deep, and you're not going to get. I mean, to cut through that is going to take years, decades.
That's right. Yeah,
even.
Yeah. Interesting topic. But listen, if you're on the lookout for solar panels, I can recommend a very good company. Own research. Okay.
I mean, they're saying they have to do it before June 2024, aren't they? On this
exactly.
I don't really. I mean, what's going to happen?
I better go back and find the advert and click on it. So, on that note, Mark, let's thank the patrons.
Yes, absolutely. So we do appreciate the support. So it's Amara Zainab, Carl Sherville, Rob Percy, and Nick Payne. Thank you very, very much, guys.
Guys, thank you. And thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Bye for now.